morning. I'm Chitra, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Bahar. I am going to give a lecture video on Structural Analysis 2. And the course code is U80PCCE601. Next, we are going to see some introduction about structural analysis. So, structural analysis is analysis of a given load. When subjected to the given loads, an idea is to predict the response of the structures. Thus, there may be input is refers to stimulus and output is refers to the response. So, in structural analysis, if you take the application, the main application they are using is solid mechanics to predict the response. That response in terms of force and displacement. So that force and displacement, it may be used for existing or proposed structures that may be subject to a specified loads. So this is one example I have taken. So in this bridge, some loads we are giving, that loads we are giving in terms of inputs. Then how the structure behaves, that one we are taking as output or response of the structure. So this is one example I have taken. Next, we are going to see about the load classification. So loads is classified into two main parts. First one is dead load. If you come to the dead load is nothing but self-weight of the components of the structures. So self-weight is nothing but, for example, if you are using some buildings. So in buildings, definitely we will be using some materials like bricks, stone, steel. So for that particular materials, we will be considering some self-weight of that components. So that we have to account as a dead load. Next is superimposed load or forces. Superimposed load is nothing but live load, whatever people living on the structure. That one we have to consider as a superimposed load or live load. Next is snow, wind, rain, temperature, erection, seismic force and other loads. Next thing is we have to see the following requirement to satisfy the structural analysis. First one is equilibrium forces. So equilibrium forces is nothing but when all the external forces acting on the rigid body, that is summation of forces in x direction, y direction, and summation of moment is equal to 0 means that one we called as equilibrium forces. Next is compatibility of displacement. So that compatibility of displacement is a displacement are said to be compatible when the deformed members of a loaded structures continue to fit together. So this type we called as compatibility of displacement. Next one is force or displacement relationship. So force or displacement relationship is nothing but unknowns. Whatever unknowns in a given structures is used to find. That one we called as force or displacement relationship. Next is we are going to see the structural consideration and purpose. For structural consideration, it should satisfy the stability. It should have some stability of the structures. Next is strength. Next is stiffness, economy, aesthetic aspects of the structures. So these are the following considerations and purpose we have to account for the design of structures. Next, we are going to see the softwares available. So these are the latest softwares. First one is Orion, STAAD3, ANSYS, Axis VM, ETABS, SAP, etc. So these are the latest softwares they are using for structural analysis. Next, we are going to see different types of structures. So here I have mentioned different types of structures. One is roller support, then pinned, hinged, fixed, link, ball and socket, rigid support and spring support. So for this particular different types of supports, I have shown some pictures. So if you take first one is roller support. So picture here I have shown is at the bottom. So if you come to the roller support is nothing but it is free to move. For example, if you take bridges in a form of bearing pads. So that is one best example for a roller support. Next is pinned support. So in case of pinned support, it is restrained in both the directions. That is, it is restrained in, it cannot move in vertical as well as horizontal. For example, if you take door hinges. So that one is a best example for a pinned support. So in pinned support, number of reaction formed is 2. Whereas in roller support, number of reactions, it is restrained in horizontal vertical direction. So here RY, number of reaction formed is 1. Whereas in a case of pinned support, number of reaction, it is restrained in two directions, that is in horizontal as well as vertical direction. So reaction formed is 2. Whereas in roller support, it is 1. Next, coming to the fixed support. So here I have shown the fixed support. Here in this diagram, you can see the fixed support. Here in fixed support, it is restrained both horizontal, vertical and movement. So number of reaction formed is 3. So these are the different types of supports. Mainly for a design purpose, we will be taking roller support, pinned support and hinged support. Next is different types of structures. So coming to the different types of structures, we are having frame structures, truss type of structures, shell type of structures, arc structures, suspension structures, mass structures, composite. So if you come to the framed type of structures, in case of framed type of structures, a best example is RCC frame structures. So if you take RCC framed structures, in RCC framed structures, all the beams and columns are connected together. So whatever loads coming on the structures, it is transmitted to the slab, then to the columns, then to the beams, then again to the columns. Simultaneously, it is transferring all the loads at last to the foundation. So like this process, it will be occurring in a framed structures. So this type of structures is called as framed structures. Next one is truss structures. So if you come to the truss type of structures, here members organized into connected triangles. This members overall assembly a single objects. So this type of structures we called as a truss structures. Next is shell structures. So shell structure is nothing but a thin curved plate structures. It is shaped to transmit the loads. So the loads, it is transmitted from compression, tension, then shear. So this one we called as a shell type of structures. Next is arc. Arc type of structure is a typically a curved one. So spanning openings and having a spacing between the supports over a wall. So this type of structures we called as a shell. Next one is arc. Arc type of structures. So arc type of structures is typically a curved structures spanning openings between the structures and having some supports for the wall. That one is a arc. Next is suspension structures. Suspension structures is a main element that supported the loads. Next is mass structures. So mass structure is a structures natural or manufactured by a piling up of materials. That one we called as mass type of structures. For example, pyramids, igloos, dams. This and all comes under mass structures. Next is composite structures. Composite structures is nothing but two or more elements of different materials. For example, composite structures, it is a combination of concrete and steel. So this type of structures we called as composite structures. So these are the different types of structures we are using in a structures analysis. So these are the pictures I have collected for a different types of structures. You can see the suspension structures, mass structures, and then wallet structures. Next, coming to the list of equilibriums. So when we come to the list of equilibriums, so first I will say what is equilibrium equation. So equilibrium equation is nothing but summation of horizontal force, summation of vertical force, and then moment is equal to 0 means that one we called as equilibrium equations. So for a static state of equilibrium equation to exist, it is necessary to find the resultant effect of the system of all the forces. Either it may be a force or a couple. Otherwise, it is tendency for a motion of a body. However, it may be 3D structures or idealized as a series of 2D components. If all the combined resultant effects are generally a system of force acting on the planar structure is not to be equivalent to a resultant force. The algebraic sum of forces, that is Fx, Fy or Fz, is equal to 0. So that one we called as equilibrium equations. Next is, if the combined resultant Fx is not to be equivalent to the couple, the algebraic sum of moments Mz of all the forces about any axis parallel to Z refers axis and normal to the structure must be equal to 0. That is mz is equal to 0. So this is about equilibrium equations. Next, we are going to see what is determinate and indeterminate structures. So if you come to the determinate, if number of unknowns, whatever unknowns, that is forces we are going to find in a number of equilibrium equations. So that type of problem we called as statically determinate, since unknown forces can be determined using the equilibrium equation. So if you take equilibrium equations, that is 2j is equal to m plus r, where n is 0 here. So however, here unknown forces exceeds the number of equilibrium equations. So that type of problem is known as statically indeterminate structures. The degree is equal to the x's. So for example, you can see the equation 2j is greater than m plus r. So here n is not equal to 0. So here if you take j is number of joints in a structures. Next is R, number of reactions. How many number of reactions in a structures? That is denoted by R. Next is M, number of members. So this is about the determinate structures and indeterminate structures. Next, we are going to see the examples for a statically determinate beams and statically indeterminate beams. So if you take statically determinate beams, so these are the pictures. First at the first three pictures. So first row represents the statically determinate beams. So for example, the first picture for a beam. So first one end is pinned, another end is roller. So already I told for this pinned support, so number of equilibrium equation is 2, whereas for a roller support, number of reaction is 1. So total, what is the total number of reactions formed in this beam? So totally 2 plus 1, 3. So what is equilibrium equations? So equilibrium equation is nothing but a number of forces. How many number of forces in the structures? That is total number of reaction is 3 minus 3. So the formula is summation of all the forces minus 3 is equal to 0, means that if it satisfies this equilibrium equations, that one we called as determinate structures. So if you take the first diagram, here number of reaction is 3. So total number of reaction minus 3 is equal to 0, means that type of structure. So in this first picture, we are getting total number of reaction is 3 minus 3 equal to 0. So that type of structures we called as statically determinate structures. Whereas coming to statically indeterminate beams or structures. So see here, second row. So here in this second row, first diagram, see this beam. Here, first one end is pinned, whereas another two end is roller support. So for pinned, number of reaction is 2, whereas for roller, number of reaction is 1. Here again 1. So 2 plus 1 plus 1. So 4. So total number of reactions available in the beam is 4. So 4 minus, what is the number of equilibrium equations? 3. Okay, so 4 minus 3 is not equal to 0. So we are getting 1. So if it is not satisfies the condition of equilibrium equations, that one we called as statically indeterminate beams. So this is the pictures for statically determinate beams and indeterminate beams. Similarly, for all the structures, if we use that equilibrium equations, if it is equal to 0, means that type of structures we called as statically determinate. If it is not equal to 0, if it doesn't satisfy the equilibrium equations, so that type of structures we called as statically indeterminate structures. So this type of beams, it is used for trusses, frames, beams. So this is one example. Next, we are going to see the techniques used in analyzing the structures. So what are the methods they are using in analysis? First one is Mechalès method. Next is moment area method. Next is conjugate beam method, virtual work method, unit load method, influence line theory, three moments equation, that is Capiglon's theorem. Next, stiffness flexibility method, slope deflection method, moment distribution method. So these are the different types of methods we are using in structural analysis. Next, coming to the Mechalès method. So if you take Mechalès method, this is a method suggested by W.H. Macaulay to relate the stiffness of the curvature and deflection and then bending moments in a beam given by this method. So for example, if you consider a beam of a simply supported beam, so look at the picture here, one simply supported beam with a uniformly distributed load. So if we want to find a beam for a bending moments, so consider definitely a small section. If you consider a small section, if you want to calculate for a particular section moment, so what is the formula they are using? Bending moment equation is m by ei is equal to d square y by dx square. So take this beam or a particular radius of curvature for a deflected shape for a moment m at a distance of dx. For a dx means it is having a small section. For a small section dx, what is the moment? Okay, so using this mechanics method, here they are finding m by ei is equal to d square y by dx square. So this is about mechanics method. Next, coming to the moment area method. So this moment area method is suitable for calculating the slope deflection at a selected points on the beam. It is effective for calculating the deflections of the beam for various cross section. This is a very simple way to find the fixed end moments, etc. So we will be often using moment area method. So this is the important method for finding the slope deflection. Next is first moment area theorem. So first moment area theorem is nothing but difference in slope between 2 points on a beam is equal to the area of the moment. Area of the moment, how they are taking is m by ei diagram between the 2 points. So this is a definition for first moment area theorem. Next we are going to see second moment area theorem. So if you come to the second moment area theorem, so it is nothing but, see the picture, they are taking a particular section for moment at x. So if you are considering for a moment at x, means that is from area A to B. So for this moment about A is they are taking as m by ei diagram. That is a point A and B will give a deflection at a point A to the tangent of the point B. So equation they are using is m by ei is equal to d square y by dx square, which is bending moment equation. So here applying, first we have to apply the first moment area theorem. So in this first moment area theorem, how they are integrating, how they are using means they are integrating this bending moment equation. So with respect to the integral of a to b, so limits they are applying is from a to b. So from a to b, that is m by ei into dx is equal to this equation, that is integral of again a to b d square y by dx square into dx with respect to dx. That is we are finding moment at x point equal to, again they are integrating. So after integrating, applying the limits. So what we are getting with respect to dx, we are getting dy by dx. So apply the limits from a to b. That is equal to, that is upper limit minus lower limit. So upper limit is b to the power of 0 minus a to the power of 0. So this one we called as first moment area theorem. Next is second moment area theorem. Again same equation, they are using the same equation, again double integration using the limits from a to b, that is mx into dx divided by ei, which is equal to with respect to the x. So we are getting x to the power of b, that is upper limit. So in second moment area theorem, we have to get the slope, that is theta b, minus deflection, that is yb, plus ya. So yb for a deflection for a b point, then deflection for a point. So this one is a second moment area theorem. Next we are going to see about the flexibility and stiffness method. So if we come to the flexibility and stiffness method, this is also one of the method in structural analysis. So this one otherwise they called as force method of analysis. In this method, a degree of static indeterminacy is initially determined. Therefore, number of release equal to the degree of static indeterminacy is introduced. So each release begins made after removal of external or internal forces. Hence, forces on original indeterminate structures are calculated. That is, summation of all forces on a released structures. The flexibility matrix they are taking in terms of matrix. That is, formula is matrix F equal to del minus D, where D represents the deformation, where F represents the redundance. Redundance is nothing but force. Next is del. Del is nothing but the element represents prescribed displacement at the respective coordinates. The column vector del minus D thus depends upon the external loading. So this is about flexibility or stiffness method. Next is stiffness method, otherwise called as displacement method of analysis. In displacement method, it is applied to find the statically determinate or indeterminate structures, but it is more useful in later. But when the degree of static indeterminacy is very high, it is very difficult to find, means this type of displacement method they are using. So in this method, first we have to find the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. Next is coordinate system is established to identify the locations. Next, afterwards we have to find the joint displacement. Next is restraining forces equal in number to the degree of kinematic indeterminacy or introduced in the coordinate to prevent the displacement of joint. So here in stiffness method, notation they are representing is in a form of matrix S. S means stiffness. So here what is the formula they are using is D is equal to S inverse. S inverse. First S is equal to, this formula will be coming, S is equal to D minus F. So if we take S to that side means it will be coming inverse. So D is equal to S inverse of S inverse into force. Here the element of vector D is unknowns. Here what we are finding, displacement. So notation for the displacement is D. That's why formula D is equal to. So the element of D vector are unknown displacement. Then element matrix S or forces corresponding to the unit values of displacement. The column vector F depends upon the loading of the structure. Next, we are going to see about the matrix operations. So let A, B, C be M into N matrix. Usually we will be using matrix M into N matrix. So the properties involved in the matrix operations is mainly is a addition. So here properties is, first one is A plus B is equal to B plus A. Next is A plus B plus C is equal to A plus B plus C. Next, third condition, A plus 0 is equal to A, where this is M into 0 matrix. For all the entries will be equal to 0. Next, fourth condition, A plus B is equal to 0 if and only B is equal to minus A. So this is the properties involving in addition. Next, we are going to see about the moment distribution method. So this moment distribution method was first introduced by the Professor Hartley Cross of Illinois University in 1930. So this method provides the convenient means of analyzing statically determinate beams and rigid frames. So it is used for when number of redundants are large or when other methods become very tedious. So this moment distribution they are using. Next, important terms. So if you come to the important terms, first is in moment distribution, stiffness. Stiffness is nothing but the moment required to produce a unit rotation, that is theta, otherwise called as slope, at a simply supported end of the member is called as stiffness. Stiffness is nothing but how much unit rotation for a member. It is denoted by K. So it based on the two conditions, when the stiffness both ends are hinged or when the stiffness both ends are fixed. So these are the two main conditions they are using for stiffness. Next we are going to see condition number 1. that is beam hinged at both the ends. So look at the picture. Here in this picture, both ends are hinged. AB is a member. Here in this condition, both ends are hinged. So in such a case, when a moment M is applied, so stiffness formula is moment for a member AB that divided by a slope. How much slope formed with respect to the member AB is equal to formula for stiffness for this type of condition is 3 EI by L. Here EI is Young's modulus, I is moment of inertia, L is length of the member. So in such a case, moment required at A to induce a unit rotation at A is 3 EI by L. When the far end B is free to rotate. Thus, this moment is required to induce a unit rotation is called stiffness, that is denoted by K. Next, coming to the beam hinged at nearer end and fixed at far end. So in such a case, so look at the picture here. In this picture, A end is pinned, whereas other side B, it is fixed. So in such a case, when a moment is applied to that particular member, so formula is MAB is equal to 2 EI by L into what is the theta formed here? That is 2 theta A. We are forming 2 times of theta A for A end, whereas for a B end, theta B is 0. That is theta BA. For a fixed condition, slope is 0. So that's why here MAB is equal to 2 EI by L into 2 theta B plus 0. So which implies that is stiffness formula, that is MAB by theta B. Theta AB is equal to 4 EI by L. So this is a moment required at A to induce a unit rotation at A is equal to, so formula for this condition is 4 EI by L when the far end B is fixed against rotation. So these are the two main conditions we'll be using in problems. Next is carryover factor. That one we called as COF. So carryover factor is nothing but a moment applied at the end induce a fixed far end at a moment equal to half of the magnitude in the same direction. So this half of the moment is applied at the near end is carried to the fixed far end. So carryover factor is half or 1 by 2. Next is distribution factor, or they called as DF. So this factor which is applied moment is distributed. So whatever moment we are getting, that moment is distributed to the member is known as distribution factor. So from the previous figure, for two conditions we have seen. So far end pinned means distribution factor is 1. The far end is fixed means distribution factor is 0. So definitely there will be no moment. So that's why they're taking distribution factor is 0. Next is several members meeting at the points. So coming to the several members, what are the members in a structures? That is member 1, member 2, member 3, member 4. So if you come to the member 1, so what is the formula we got for the first diagram? That is 3 EI I1 by L1 into theta. So that is they are taking as Ki, that is stiffness, into slope theta. For member 2, similarly for member 2, that is 4 EI E2 I2 divided by L2 into theta. So they're taking as K2 into theta. Similarly for member 3, they are taking 3 EI I3 divided by L3 into theta, which is equal to K3 into theta 3. For member 4, that is 4 EI to the power of 4 I to the power of 4 divided by L to the power of 4 into theta, which implies K4 into theta. So here M1 is to M2 is to M3, M4. For all the members, they are equating to stiffness K1, K2, K3, K4. So For all the joints, for all the members, we are getting M. That is total member M1 is equal to summation of K1, that is member 1 divided by all the members, that is K1, K2, K3, K4 into M. So that one implies that is K1 divided by summation of all the members into M. So similarly, we are getting that is Mi is equal to Ki divided by summation of all the K's stiffness into M. So formula is Mi is equal to Ki divided by summation of K into M. So this part we called as distribution factor. So this moment applied at a joint where several members meet will be distributed among the members in a proportion to meet their stiffness. Next is we are going to see the sign conversions. General sign conversions, there are two types of conditions. So one is support moments, then is rotation. If you come to the support moments, always moment if you are taking in a clockwise, that one we have to consider as a positive. If you are taking in a anti-clockwise, so we have to consider that is negative. For rotations, that is rotation is nothing but slope. So if you are for a slope, if you are taking clockwise, same like movements, we have to consider positive, and anti-clockwise we have to consider negative. So this is about sign conversions we have to consider for our problems. Next we are going to see sinking settlement. The settlement will be taken as positive. If it rotates a beam as a whole in clockwise direction means positive. The settlement is taken in a negative. If it rotates for a whole in anti-clockwise, we have to take in negative. Next, fixed end moments. So we are going to see fixed end moments. The fixed end moments for various loads cases is shown. So for example, for concentrated load, see, for this type of structures, so here point load is acting at the center. So in such a case, we have to treat the support as a fixed end moments. So in such a case, formula for the fixed end moments is, so we are considering clockwise. Clockwise means positive, I told. Anti-clockwise means negative. So for fixed end moments with the eccentric loading, with the centric loading means formula is PL by 8 plus, if you are coming from right side, that is plus PL by 8, left side minus PL by 8. Next, for eccentric loading or UDL, rotation, sinking of supports, or UVL loading. So for this type of loadings, so it is not, loading is not placed at the center with AB distance. So in such a case, what is the formula for fixed end moments? That is for clockwise plus P A square B by L square, where P is nothing but load, where A is a distance from left side to the P load. Next, B is from P to the right side of the point. So if you are taking in anti-clockwise direction, fixed end moment formula is minus P A B square by L square. Next, in case of UDL load, so what is the formula? Minus Q L square divided by 12. So if you are taking clockwise, so plus Q L square divided by 12. Q is nothing but the load acting on the structures. Next, for this type of triangular loads, so in such a case, so formula for fixed end moments is anti-clockwise, that is Q naught minus Q naught L square by 30, clockwise plus Q naught L square by 20. So this is for a triangular load fixed end moments formula. Next, if a moment is acting at the center of the beam, so formula is M naught B into 2A minus B divided by L square. Next, this side formula is M naught A into 2B minus A divided by L square. So this is a fixed end moment. So today we have covered introduction about structural analysis, types of supports, equilibrium equations, and then we have seen determinate and indeterminate structures, and the methods we are using in structural analysis and the formulas for finite element method and stiffness method and sign conversions. So I hope it will be useful for you. Thank you.